another episode of talking about Rocky Day.
Yes, part 2.
I think we should just do the rest of our episodes about Rocky Day. That's all we should talk about.
Yeah, that certainly would not be a boring conversation because, boy, was that a good time.
Rocky Day. Oh, my goodness. I
Yeah.
mean, we discussed it briefly with John on our last episode, which thank you again, John. We had a great time. Great episode. Great interview. Definitely have him on again. But there it is. Rocky Day, December 3rd, will forever be known to Philadelphia as Rocky Day.
It's a day of infamy as far as Rock fans are concerned.
And we were there. We were there bright. Remember, it's so funny because we talked about getting there at 8.
Yes.
I had to be there at 9 to check in. So we were like, let's get there an hour earlier. And then when we met Claudio in Victor.
Yep.
I didn't have that picture. We'll have that picture on another episode. But Claudio's there next to Rick, to Rick's left.
Yep.
Not the Apollo Tony to the other side. That's Claudio.
He's such a super nice guy from Montreal.
We'll talk about him more in the Philly episode. But he was fantastic. I enjoyed meeting and chatting with him. Yep. But anyway, he was the one that got us to thinking we needed to go earlier.
Yeah.
He was saying people are going at like 5 and 6.
Right.
5 and 6. I don't know if we're going to get that early. It's supposed to rain. It's going to be cold. My Florida blood can't handle that. So what did we decide on? 7? Is that we finished up on 7?
Yeah, we decided we were going to try to be there between 7 and 7:30.
Yeah, and I think that's what it wound up being because we got coffee and we got something to eat. And
we still got up pretty early. We went to bed pretty late.
We did. Yeah, then, the next episode will be the Philly Adventure episode, and that was go of a day itself from 9:30 a.m. to midnight.
Oh yeah,
so we got there early, and so early that nobody is around but Rick to take this picture. Right. Nobody. There was no one at the statue. There was maybe 5 or 6 people over by the barricade. Yeah, maybe 7.
Yeah.
And Rick also got this other great shot. I love this shot, man. I'm putting this on the wall. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, I want to do it as well. I mean,
I'll give you all the credit. I'll write your credit on the bottom there, but that's going. That's
well,
beautiful.
Like you said, there was nobody there. I'm like, well, my first thought was, well, how can I get that statue home? It's not going to fit in my pocket. But then as I'm just a little on that as I'm kind of walking around and just taking side views and stuff, I'm looking, I'm like, to see Philly through Rocky's view.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a great,
perfect way of putting it.
And it just kind of go along with what would Rocky do, in looking at his perspective. I'm like, oh my God, yes, it's going to be a poster.
It was so cool seeing this statue, nobody around too, because like I've seen it, I don't know, half a dozen times now.
Yeah,
and you go, you take the picture, and you kind of just go. That morning, I was looking at it. I'm looking at the shoes. I'm looking at the detail of the word Rocky on his shorts, and I'm just looking up at it. I'm like, he was standing right here at that podium in Rocky 3, looking at the statue, and kind of taking it all in. It was pretty cool. So some of the other early risers who were crazier than us and got up even earlier than us, we met and we showed the picture already with Claudio, and there's Rick and Tony Tornado in there dressed like Apollo, myself, and Trish. Trish drove all the way. I don't remember what section of New York she said she lived in. I think Brooklyn, but I could be wrong. Either way, it's from New York City area. So, I mean, Rick drove 4 hours plus to be there. She probably drove 3 hours plus to be there. And then the people started filing in a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
People started coming in. Barricades getting put up. It was getting busier and busier. I ran into John Messina from Fight Story. Super nice guy.
Right.
Super nice guy. We plan on having him on.
I missed him. I did miss him because, and we'll get into this, but you and I were in two different areas trying to accomplish what we needed to accomplish.
I know. I feel bad. But actually, too, see, now I saw Messina, and you were on the other side, and you saw Robert and John.
Yes. Yes.
So you were on that side. You got those guys. Yeah. I was on the other side. I got Messina. And I did see Robert and John. They came over to me, and they said hi. I was so petrified to leave my place. I didn't want to leave my place. I wanted to be first there. So
absolutely. And I
get into that in a little while.
Knowing what you were doing and what your ultimate end game was.
Yeah.
I'm way over here, and I've got like primo seating at the gate.
Yeah, you did.
Standing, and I'm like, and I'm watching hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Was finally
it wound up becoming like this. This was the end result at about 10:30-ish.
Yep.
Something like that.
And there was no damn way
really
I was
big,
giving up my spot.
really big white tent, which is the white tent canopy, which is pretty much in the center of the photo, below the column arches of the top of this museum.
Yep.
Rick's right around there somewhere, about 4 or 5 rows up.
Oh, I'm right in the front, but if you were to take,
you're right on that rail.
Yeah, I'm down in there. The black and white umbrella below it may be the 7 o'clock position. I'm right next to that black and white umbrella or somewhere in there.
You know what we need to do next year, just in case we need to bring bright yellow, so we can always find us.
Yeah.
So they, obviously this was the grand opening of the store, that's the store itself.
Yep.
Good looking store there. They had a tent set up with merchandise.
Yeah. They had some really nice stuff. I wish the store was bigger,
Yeah.
So they could put more merchandise in. But
I know,
get
right?
it, the area. But they got
you can only have it so big. But I mean, I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Do you have this problem? Like, I see things that I already have, and I get excited.
Oh yeah.
Like this hat. I saw the hat. I'm like, oh, look at the hat. I own the hat. Why am I excited to see that hat?
But I might need
I was. Maybe I need to. Something could happen to this one.
Well, and if you're like me, you have the good hat, and then you have the work hat.
Right? Oh yeah. But when you see it all set up like this, like you see all the robe and the jacket and the shorts, and it's just in front of you in bright colors, and then you got another display over here. You got the Southpaw keychain, which is not available on site just yet. The Sly Stallone Walk of Fame star is a magnet. Yeah. Then you got the obvious statue, the gold boxing glove necklace, and of course the fedora.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool seeing stuff that we are not available on the site.
You know what?
There.
Back up that page one more time to that picture. I really, I know they don't sell it, but I really like the display stand that the fedora is on. I like that for my fedora.
Well, that's a great way to display it. I mean, you don't want to just lay it on the table.
Right.
You definitely want it to look, worn, so to speak. Yeah,
I like fantastic. The way, mine is right there. Actually, hey, I got that right right on top of my Mighty Mix.
Right there.
And it kind of blends in.
Mine's right there, but it's in the box. I don't want to get dusty.
But what a great idea. I really like the way it's displayed. And the way that they had the stuff in the store was displayed very nicely.
Yeah.
You could still walk through and, and take things in. And,
No, it was perfect. It was so well done. And then, of course, the man himself showed up, and that's Nicky Cordasco and Sly himself. And according to what he wrote here, Sly was given a lot of options because it was raining. It was raining off and on from drizzle to rain coming down.
Yeah.
It was like it didn't stop all day.
No.
I mean, it briefly drizzled 2 or 3 times. My jacket was soaked. I wasn't soaked, but my jacket was soaked. I know you were soaked. Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah. But they gave Sly, like they said, 4 or 5 options of where they could take the pictures other than the statue, so everybody could be dry. And he said no. He said no. This is what they want. They want me at the statue with the picture.
Yep. Yep.
You know, once in a lifetime, like we promoted it. And
Good for
hats
him.
off to him. Granted, there were a lot of canopies and umbrellas and whatnot, but he still stood in the rain for
Sure he did.
I don't 2 hours, an hour and a half. I really don't know how long it was. It seemed like I blinked and it was over.
Yeah.
It seemed like once he got there, from getting there to going up to you after I got my picture, it seemed like it just was, hey, like boom, done.
Yep. Well, you remember what I told you prior to going into it?
You did.
I said, look, you know, don't worry about cameras, don't worry about photographers, don't worry about nothing. Clear your mind and just focus on the moment, because the moment will happen and it'll be so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment, how fast it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, when Sly showed up, Sly went on stage, gave a nice speech talking about obviously keep punching and getting to the top of the stairs and what it meant to him and what it means to all of us. Then they ushered him over to cut the ribbon, to grand open the store.
Tony, but I do have to interject this though.
Of course.
You know, he's got his beautiful wife over his, would that be his right shoulder?
His right shoulder, Jennifer.
Yeah. And I'm digging the jacket he's wearing, man. I'm like, I gotta find one of those because that's hot.
It's got like a plum color sports coat on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big dresser upper, but if I have to, I want to look like that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you got Jennifer's with him right next to him there, and I'm sure you can see the young lady with the baseball cap and the blonde hair. Behind her is Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
And next to Chevy is Nick.
Yes.
So that was the cutting of the ribbon. I apologize. I don't know the others. There's some form of Philly dignitaries of some kind.
Yes.
And then he went inside the store and he looked at the store and checked it out and kind of gave his thumbs up of approval.
Yo, I missed those white gloves. Did you see those white gloves?
Yeah, they're just display though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just display. They're not. They didn't have a sale.
Okay.
And then he came out, shook hands, and I think he signed some autographs. He didn't really take selfies or anything. He moved very quickly.
Look at the stanchion. It's like,
oh, I know.
Ready to break.
Trust me, it was brutal. I was standing almost like where I took this picture is pretty much exactly where I'm standing, where you could see there's another stanchion that comes in front of me. So imagine me just standing maybe 10 feet away from him, and there's a stanchion in front of me. So it was like this. Here's me.
Yep.
See, there was nobody here. Obviously, this is where I stood most of the morning.
Yep.
Next to this photo entrance sign. So that's where I stood to take the picture. Yeah, I didn't move from that spot. People thought I was crazy. Security kept coming over and like, you're going to stand here the whole time? So I am being first online, my friend. Is this where the line starts? He goes, yeah, I'm right here. He's like, all right. Even the lady came over to me that checked in names and said, yeah. I know you've been here since like 7. You're good.
Well, did you explain to them the reasoning, after what had happened?
I did to one lady because she sat there and kind of chatted a little bit when we were just hanging out. And I said, I know you probably think it's kind of crazy, a 57-year-old guy standing here first in line, to meet Sylvester Stallone. I go, but if you know why. So I kind of gave a little backstory on it.
Yeah.
Everybody that's watching knows that backstory. I've had a lot of well wishes and congratulations, and you deserve it. And it's all very, very deep in my heart. I thank all of you for that. But it was the time. I mean, like Rick said, it was so hard to block it all out because it happens so fast. Like here it is. You had to wait here, and then they opened up where it says photo entrance, and there's that little alley there that they created with the stanchion on both sides. And I walked all the way down to the end, which at the end I was first there, and then you make a left, and then you go up to the statue. Technically, I wasn't first. Technically. John and Robert and then 2 other gentlemen that were with them that had something to do with the store were in front of me. Excuse me. So he was up there waiting to take pictures. I know that's kind of a weird, crappy shot, but
it's still pretty cool, though. It's just, it's a cool photo.
And but you were right, my friend. I got up there. It was my turn. It just was like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm standing there. Excuse me. I'm standing there waiting. John went, and then the other gentleman went, and then I knew I was next. And so I'm standing there waiting. I'm like, all right, here we go. This is it. So they ushered, okay, come on. And they go like this. So I go walking up, put my hand out. I said what I've always said I was going to say. I said, Sly, in 76, I was 10 years old, and Rocky changed my life. Thank you. He shook my hand. He goes, mine too. In his deep voice, mine too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the photographer yells, ready. I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Smile quick. Okay, give him the fist. And he goes, and then he yells, thank you. I'm like, oh, God, now I got to go? I'm like, wait, I'm not done.
I'm not done.
So I picked up my jacket because I threw my jacket on the ground because I wanted to wear my statue quarter zip sweater, which I was an idiot. I blocked it with my fist. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to say something before I walk away. So I'm like, I said, I never even said who I was. So I'm like, Sly, my name's Tony Casa from Round 14 podcast. He goes, oh, yeah. He pointed at me. I'm like, holy crap.
I know I exist.
So I left. I walked around looking for you.
Yeah.
I knew you were on the side because you said where you were. So I'm looking for you. And you're still video. You were videoing me the whole time going up there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you yelling, Tony! I didn't hear you, by the way. I didn't hear anything, man. It was like, well, I was like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah. At that point, you just got tunnel vision. You are so laser focused.
They give you this ticket, this QR code to scan in about 5 minutes. So I go over and I see you, and it's only been 2. I'm scanning it. Come on. And there it was. There it was. The picture that I had waited 47 years for.
Well worth the wait.
A little bit closer so you can see. I was petrified, like my eyes were closed, or Sly's eyes were closed, or like I was doing some goofy smile or something, or Sly was, talking, but it came out great. I can't thank him enough. I can't thank Nikki enough for putting it all together. John Rivoli for being involved and doing what he did.
Sure.
It's just a chance of a lifetime, my friend. I got to share it with you, which was really cool because we didn't even know that was going to happen. Well, not the picture. We didn't know you and I were going to happen there.
No, that was last minute we threw this together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you were going back and forth about going. I was going regardless, obvious reasons. But I was like, man, I hope he goes. I don't want to really, especially, I knew it was going to be crazy.
Well,
I honestly,
you
go ahead.
All right. So you knew you were going, but you weren't saying nothing to me. You're like, I'm going to wait.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed. I'm sorry.
No. And I'm not, busting your chops on that. I get it. I understand it. And I would not have ruined it. I would have done the same damn thing. I'm like, I am not even going to take a chance with us, right? So I get that.
I was petrified to tell anybody. I'm like, I'm not ruining this.
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to wait and see. And I'm thinking, geez, they notified you so late. I'm like, maybe there's a chance. I was kind of, and then I'm like, okay, we're going to go. What the hell? I'm not going to miss this. I'm going to go down.
You know what, though? I mean, in a Rockhead nation, this is historic. And this is extremely meaningful. Like 10, 15 years from now, when we're a hell of a lot older and more generations are finding Rocky and following Rocky and, hearing about the first Rocky day, we were there.
Right.
And I know that may sound corny to some people or a little melodramatic to some, thinking, oh, come on, Tony, really? It's like, it's not like you're at the first 4th of July. Chill out. But,
or Woodstock,
Yeah, exactly.
But still,
in the Rockhead Nation, Rocky Land, this is as good as it gets. I mean, this is historic. I don't know if it's a fact, but I heard this young lady here with Sly, and I don't know who she is, but she's obviously somebody higher up in the Philly uh, hierarchy of people, lack of a better term. She was saying to Sly, they want to make it a 3-day festival, a 3-day event. Now, I didn't hear anything else after that because they kind of shuffled away. But that was all I heard. I don't even know if I was supposed to hear that. So I don't even know if I was supposed to say that. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, seeing what they did on that day, which they did a phenomenal job controlling the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
The people there, the security there, the signage for stuff. I mean, everything was just
the rain, the elements,
and in the rain too. I mean, come on, let's face it. The rain just, it could have made things so much worse than it didn't. When you heard the Eye of the Tiger and the Rocky, gonna fly now and stuff, people were chanting Rocky, Rocky.
Yeah,
they didn't care. They didn't care how wet they were.
No, it was all made it all worth a while.
It was amazing. So we'll see. Hopefully, there's a Rocky Day next year, and the year after, and the year after.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be there.
We're gonna try to beat all of them.
Yeah, that is the goal. That is the goal. Now that we saw that and did that, now, you thought we were Rocky fanatics before. Now it's definitely taken on another level.
Yeah.
And how cool was it though to see people there that came up to us and, hey, round 14, or hey, Rick and Tony, and not for the notoriety that I care that I got recognized or you got recognized. It was more so that the podcast was recognized. They they follow us.
Truth be told, you and I we talk about this quite often. We're having fun. We're having a good time. We love doing this. We enjoy talking Rocky, and nobody in our inner circles that we hang out with or work with or whatever does. So we have each other.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're absolutely right. I have 3 good friends of mine that I've been friends with between 25 and 45 years. If I talk to them as much about Rocky as I have you or anybody else, they wouldn't have been friends with me very long. They would like, dude, you need help, man. You gotta,
right.
And they know how much I love it.
So we're on the same level, and we can talk to each other about this, and we don't get bored with it. We love doing it. Which brings me to the point is we said that we love doing the podcast because we get to talk about what we love. So when we're down in Philly for Rocky Day, we're not thinking it as like we're getting noticed like Sylvester Stallone or Nick or Robert Bruzio or John Rivoli. We're just like, someone's like, hey, it's Rick. Oh, hey, it's Tony. And we're like, huh? It was just kind of flattering, caught you by surprise. Like, how do you know me?
Yeah.
Like round 14. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool.
I know. I mean, that one girl, Trish, like, you're for round 14, I follow you guys. That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. It is a nice feeling, to know that they're either watching things that they like to hear or watch about or talk about and enjoy the conversations that we have. So, yeah, Rick and I plan on being at Rocky Day and Rocky Run annually. And we'll talk more about Rocky Run, obviously not now. Both of these are a year away. The only reason why we're talking about Rocky Day is because we went and we were there.
Right.
And it only happened, a week, 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. Right. But we are going to be at them annually, and we're going to make it as good as we can each year.
Absolutely.
It'll be fun stuff.
Absolutely.
But it was a trip. I'm so glad we did it. I really am. Because I was like, when you said you might not be going, like, all right, well, if he doesn't go, he doesn't go. I can't make him. And I know I'm going. But I'm so glad you went, because I think the experience, as good as it would have been for me, don't get me wrong, I'm not shutting down. It was so much better for a variety of reasons with you there, sharing it with another Rockhead, you seeing the excitement in each of us.
Yes.
When we saw things and did things, and it was great. It really
it was. I mean, the on Rocky Day, because we were separated for much of the day, and there was a reason why, you know. So I didn't get to spend as much of that day with you as I would have liked to have.
Yeah,
But I also
yeah,
understand the reasoning,
yeah,
obviously. Whereas the
yeah.
day
Because we were
before was,
separated for probably 2 hours.
yeah,
I say 9:30 to 11:30, maybe 3 hours, 9 to 12
yeah.
ish, something like that.
But I would be live feeding, which is the first
Yeah,
time I've ever done in my entire life. I'm asking Claudio, I'm like, now how do you do this?
you were asking to join my live feed, so I put you on, and we were both on. I thought that was
Yeah.
awesome.
And I didn't even know how I did that, you know. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm joining. I'm like, oh, maybe I have to push this to watch it. And the next thing I know, I'm on there. I'm like, I'm like, oh my God.
And
I'm so
I felt bad because sometimes we were just showing the crowd because
yeah,
nothing was happening yet. There was a couple of false alarms where Sly was pulling up. We saw a
yeah.
big black SUV pull up, and we thought it was him. A couple times that happened, but inform the audience how many people contacted you and thanked Round 14 for going live,
Oh,
and from where they
I'm
were from.
I had thank yous as far as Chile, United Kingdom, there. I don't have, well, my phone's over there, but I'm not going to look at it while I'm doing this. But there was a lot of people
Yeah,
who thanked me, and then thanked Round 14 because, you do the Round 14 through your phone. Like it felt like being there,
yeah,
without having the opportunity to be there. At least the people got to see a lot of what
yeah,
happened and transpired. And
yeah,
and that's why I did that. And you were doing that as well, so
yeah.
that
I
we
mean,
could
you had
have
much
the
better shots than
experience.
I did. Where I was standing and where I was, selfishly not moving. I wasn't walking around to get better shots. You
Yeah.
had fantastic shots of Sly, the stage, everything. So you were dead center. I mean, people were even messaging me like how great your shots were. But I'm so glad we did that because so many
Yeah.
people said to us. I had people myself, they messaged from Italy. Somebody messaged again from the UK. There was some
Yeah.
girl from Australia, just thanking us for the live feed. Thanks so
Yeah.
much. Like you said, it feels like I'm there. Thank you. And then
Right. And
it's kind of cool to do that for somebody. And we didn't even do it for that. We
no.
weren't thinking that would be the end game, but it was.
Right. And we talked prior, like, okay, if you're going to be over there, I'm going to go over here because I felt like it would be very important if I was able to get Sly's speech, you
Mm-hmm.
know, which I felt was like very important, that was huge. And at one time Instagram shut me down because they heard the song, the Eye of the Tiger song. I'm like, that's a copyright. I'm like,
Oh, really?
ah! I'm like, come
Really?
on, man. I'm trying to get the phone back up and going. And
Oh, get out! Really?
I
Come
think I
on.
got I think I got his whole speech broadcast to everybody, which I would just, you just wanted to share it. I mean, if I was home
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
couldn't have been there, I would have been so appreciative
I
to
would have watched.
anybody who would share. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. No, I
But
would
it
have watched
was,
also. I agree with you.
yeah. But it was just funny being my first experience ever live feeding anything. I'm like, and I'm looking back at pictures. I'm like, there's video of my feet,
Yeah,
into the ground.
I had the same thing. I had an umbrella here, scraping on the umbrella.
Yeah,
I had like part of my shirt. I'm going like
yeah,
this. It's like, oh, so yeah, we apologize to anybody who was like, whoa, what's going on now?
yeah. We're gonna take tech classes.
Yeah, yeah, I think we need to if we want to go further with this. And then our buddy, we saw this gentleman the
Oh
day
yeah.
prior. We saw him the day prior at the steps playing nonstop Rocky music. Gonna
Hmm.
Fly Now, Eye of the Tiger. He played Going the Distance. He played Burning Heart. He played tons. He just kept playing them. It was great.
Yeah, he did.
His guitar case there with the Rocky heavyweight belt. Um, but he wasn't there for the majority of Rocky Day on the
Right.
sets.
Right.
But he was there later on because I remember hearing him. Because when I came over to you, I came around to you right after I got my picture taken, and I started hearing the trumpet fire. I'm like, he's back.
He's back. He's back.
He's back. His lips are finally being able to feel. You know,
yeah, right. Who was it with the Simpsons? He was like the saxophone player. It was like Bleeding Gums Johnson or something like that. Tony and I were joking back and forth. Like, this guy's not going to be able to eat for a week. He's just blowing that trumpet nonstop. He's not going to be able to feel his lips.
Nonstop.
But he was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good. It was a great time. Like Rick spent a couple bucks at the Rocky tent here buying hoodies and getting warm.
Yes, I did.
So next year we'll have to prepare for the possibility of inclement weather a little bit better.
Yeah. We'll have like a utility belt since we're both Batman fans as well. With like an umbrella, an extra poncho.
Gloves. You know. I need waterproof gloves, man. My hands were so cold, and I had leather gloves with me.
Yeah. That
could keep my hands warm, but obviously they're not very nice in the rain, and they got soaking wet. So I just left them in my pocket.
Right.
Yeah, it was. We saw the rain. We kept looking at the weather. We saw the rain coming. And it showed a good gap where it was going to be like 2 hours of very minimal no rain. Yeah. And it was like 11:30, 12 o'clock to 2. So we're like, that's great. That's right after the speech. You know, it'll be perfect. You know, well, Mother Nature didn't get that little email because it didn't stop.
Yeah.
It didn't stop, man. And then we were walking away, and then Sly came down. Remember, I met you guys after I got the picture.
Yeah.
And then we were walking towards the railings again.
Yeah.
So back to that railing shot of me here. So right around where those people are walking in the middle of that railing there, it's kind of where Claudio, Rick, and myself were standing. And we were just talking. And next thing I know, I said, guys, here they come. And Jennifer walked by, and then Sly walked by. Claudio got to pat him on the back, he said, or him on the shoulder or something. I forget what he said. And that's when that barricade started going.
That was buckling.
I mean, good thing they had some big security guys because
they had some serious defensive ends there.
There was a couple. They were big boys.
Yeah,
big boys, and they just shout, "Make a hole!" and they're coming through with him. I'm like, "You got it, my friend. There you go."
Yeah,
you're a lot bigger than I am.
Absolutely.
But so that's and then you turn around, the stanchions are gone, the stage is gone, the tents are gone. I'm like, oh my god, it's all put away already. Like crazy.
Yeah, we're not ready to be done.
I was ready to go all day.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't raining, I think it would have been a little longer. But obviously with the rain, but don't get me wrong. I mean, everybody got taken care of, so it wasn't anybody got snubbed or anybody. But I don't mean as far as the event people. I mean, I think the people there, the fans there, I think they would have milled around a little bit longer and stayed and stuff if the weather was nicer.
Yeah.
Either way, we're hoping there's a Rocky Day every year, like it is in the day. We're hoping it because we will be there again. At that same hotel where we could walk to the statue, and
that was perfect. You know what I did? You know what I did think that was very nice and generous. I'm going to assume it was the Sly Stallone Shop who did this. Was it the workers for the Sly Stallone Shop who were actually working the event got to get their picture taken with Sly?
Yes.
I mean, how many companies, businesses, or whatever, the top brass management will get theirs.
Yeah.
Understandably, I mean, they're the ones footing the bill. But to think about the people who are working behind the registers or
behind the scenes, and
behind the scenes. And that poor girl working the register, I said to her, because the dude with a trumpet was just like on repeat. And I'm like, so how long you here today? She's like, I'm here for the whole thing. I said, how long's he been playing? It's this morning. I said, do you need some earplugs? She's like, you have no idea.
She's probably like, I love Rocky, but man, ooh.
Yeah, she's like, it's starting to grate now. You know?
Yeah. But that was good stuff, man. It was great.
I just think it was, very insightful for, again, I'm going to assume it was the Sly Stallone Shop to bring
of course.
their workers to get the picture taken because,
right.
I don't want to say everyday common folk get that opportunity, but to think about your employees, that's huge.
No, I agreed. Agreed. And it was absolutely the shop. Yeah, it does speak volumes. They're very well done. So next episode, we'll be talking about the day prior, which was extremely eventful.
Yes, it was.
You want to talk about go, go, go.
Oh, yeah.
It was go, go, go. It was Rick picked me up. I'll give you a little rundown real quick before we sign off of this episode. Rick picked me up, and I stayed at a buddy's house. My friend lives right outside of Philly. So I stayed with him the night I flew in. And he picked me up there at about 9:30, I guess, give or take.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, something like that. Yeah. So we were going into Philly to see the sights, obviously the Rocky sights. So we were going from that point until after dinner and walking back to the hotel. We ended the day with the Victor Cafe. And it was just my knees were screaming and my it was a long day, but it was one of the best. It was such a great day. But we'll talk about that on the next episode. We don't want to give anything away, but that's going to be the next episode. We'll talk about that. And then we have another special episode after that one, a very special guest where we have to keep that secret for now, but we will tell you later on when we get closer to the episode. So, but this is a good one.
Looking forward to Tony and Rick's excellent adventures.
Tony and Rick's Philadelphia adventure. Man, Philly road trip. Round 14 on the road.
It'll never be the same.
Going to be on the road, like we said. We're gonna if Rocky Day is annual, we're going to be there, and we know the Rocky Run is annual. And we're going to be there. So we'll be there pretty much the beginning of November and then the beginning of December. So
we might just have to get a condo down there.
Telling you, some of those hotels move. My goodness. But with the time of year that is. See, you're okay because you have all that stuff: gloves, winter coat, rain jacket, umbrella. Yeah, we need to be prepared for anything.
Yeah, true.
So,
very true.
Good stuff, my friend. Good stuff. Well, Rocky Day is in the books. We promise, guys, we won't talk about Rocky Day every episode. It's just, maybe we'll bring it up here and there. But it was such a great time. No, next episode won't be about Rocky Day, but it will be about Philly.
Yes.
We toured everything, we saw everything, and had an end of the night with a wonderful dinner that we'll go into a lot of detail with.
Right,
fantastic, which will have to be on our itinerary every year we go.
Absolutely.
Man. Any other parting words, my friend?
Let's just say that walk back after the meal at Victor, that was a hell of a meal. So good. Tony and I were like stumbling. We're like, oh, manja.
I wanted dessert so bad. Like I said, we'll talk about that. But I
know.
I wanted dessert so bad, but I couldn't.
Yeah. Parting words. I would like. I guess parting words would be, thank you, Philadelphia. Thank you, Sly Stallone. Thank you, Sly Stallone Shop, Nikki, John, and everybody who was involved in putting this together.
Made Rocky Day happen.
It was a great day, and you made two guys, especially one right there, super happy. And I very much enjoyed the day as well. Weather pendant, irrelevant.
Yeah, that ended up doing it. No, it was excellent. I agree. Couldn't agree more. I mean, you made thousands of people happy by seeing Sly, hearing his speech, listening to words he had to say. And then, like Rick said, yes, I will be selfish. You did make me an extremely happy man. I couldn't thank you guys enough for everything to make this happen. But there's more to come. So who knows what other avenues we will be going down.
Right.
We appreciate everybody. We appreciate everybody watching. We didn't realize we had people following and watching from all over the globe.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you. That's awesome. And hopefully you enjoy the show. Hopefully you enjoy the podcast and the Instagram page.
Right.
Like we said, there's a lot more to
subscribe, follow, whatever all that other stuff is.
He's talking to the least techie people there are. Like,
know.
we don't know this stuff, guys. You don't seem to
I know.
understand.
Throw a stamp on an envelope and mail it out.
I'm not even that bad with stuff, but when this, like, subscribe, I know that. I don't know how sharing helps me, but okay, share, subscribe.
We're gonna have to just get our kids involved.
Yeah, we may need to hire a media consultant.
A 10-year-old.
We'll
get a 10-year-old.
Might have to do that.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. I will see you next week, and we'll be talking about,
brother.
Like you said, the Tony and Rick Philly road trip, excellent adventure, whatever you want to call it. We're ready to go for next week. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.